Some bloodlines are written in ink, and others are forged in battle, legacy, and destiny. Over 2,000 years ago, a warrior king emerged, King Yokgose, the founder of Silla, a kingdom that would one day unify Korea. His blood ran through generations of scholars, warriors, and visionaries, shaping the very foundation of Korean history. From his lineage come Park Yon, the legendary musician and scientist whose melodies and inventions transcended time, proving that art and science can be just as powerful as a sword. And now, in the modern era, the same bloodline burns brightly in Park Jimin, a man whose presence commands the stage like a king before his people, whose artistry moves the world like a melody passed down through centuries, from the throne of Silla to the global stage, from warrior kings to world class performers. This is the legacy of the Park clan, a history of power, a dynasty of artistry, and a name that will never be forgotten. But before I go any further, let me do my usual disclaimer. It's hard to pin down the specific clan of families as there have been a lot of movements through time. I choose the closest to the family's geographic origin. However, Park Jimin's case may be unique. All Park clans trace their ancestry to one man, and he is one of the most important historical figures in Korea. King Yokgose, the legendary founder of the Silla kingdom in 57 BC. And when I mean legendary, I mean that quite literally, because according to legend, a villager saw a bright light shining from a forest near a well called Nejong. There, they discovered a giant red egg. When the egg cracked open, a baby boy emerged, glowing with divine energy. And the boy was Yokgose, and his birth was seen as a sign from the heavens that he was destined to rule. So he grew up faster than normal children, showing extraordinary intelligence and strength. And during this time, there were actually six independent tribes: Yangsan, Goho, Desu, Jijang, Gari, and Sok clans. When Yokgose turned 13, however, the six tribes unanimously chose him as their king, marking the birth of Saruguk. They later renamed this to Silla. King Yokgose was a leader ahead of his time. Age is just a number, at least for King Yokgose. While most kids were busy playing, he was building an empire, literally. Not only did he unite fighting clans, but he also did something shockingly modern. He decentralized power. Instead of ruling with an iron fist, he allowed each tribe some degree of local governance while still ensuring they all answered to a centralized authority, him. Sounds revolutionary? Yeah, because in Asia it is more common for any structure to be centralized. He built a kingdom from the ground up. Before King Yokgose, Korea was just a patchwork of fighting tribes. He changed that by establishing the first centralized government in Korean history, bringing law, order, and taxation to Silla. But he didn't stop there. A standing army? Check. He organized a military strong enough to defend Silla and later expand its influence. A thriving economy built from scratch. He knew that a kingdom's strength wasn't just about swords, it was also about food and finances. So, he introduced large scale farming to feed a growing population. He implemented taxation based on agricultural production, and he developed irrigation and land expansion for stable food supply. And the result? Economic stability, a booming population, and a military strong enough to take on rival kingdoms. And remember, when he was doing this, no one else had done it before, at least not to his knowledge. So everything he was doing was based on his own idea. He was a man of strategy on and off the battlefield. Yokose wasn't just a great ruler, he was a tactician, Though young, he understood that defending a kingdom meant more than just fighting battles. So, he built fortifications to stop invasions before they even happened. He forged alliances with nearby tribes to ensure long term stability. And he strategically positioned Silla for growth, turning a loose confederation into a force to be reckoned with. He laid the cultural foundations of Silla. Yokosen knew that a strong kingdom needed a strong culture if he ever wants this kingdom to last beyond him. Even before Buddhism became the dominant spiritual force in Silla, it was actually King Yokgose who introduced early Buddhist teachings and adopted Confucian principles in governance. He knew that his people had to share something, a principle, a belief, a value system that everyone will respect, and a value system that will actually work. So, what happened next? Silla became the cultural powerhouse of Korea. His reign became known as the Golden Age of architecture. He nurtured art and philosophy, and that shaped Korea for centuries. And a Confucian influenced administration that set the stage for future dynasties. One that is not just about power or money, it was about building a peaceful, safe, and harmonious society. He wasn't just building a kingdom, he was building a civilization. The legacy that runs in millions of bloodlines. As if founding a kingdom and revolutionizing governance wasn't enough, King Yokgose also established Korea's first royal bloodline. To solidify his dynasty, he and his descendants took one surname, Park or Bak, named after the gourd shaped egg he was born from. Unlike other Korean surnames, which have multiple origins, every Park family traces its lineage back to him. Over time, his descendants branched out into different Park clans, each tied to a specific region. In considering the proximity of prominent Park clans to Busan, the Miryang Park clan stands out as the closest. Miryang is a city located approximately 50 kilometers northwest of Busan in South Gyeongsang province. Now, the Silla kingdom actually eventually merged with other kingdoms, but the Park clan continued to be influential, not just because of their bloodline, but because the members of the Park clan continued to contribute to the growth of Korean culture, economy, and military might. Park Yon or Bakyon is one such influential figure. If it wasn't for Park Yon, Korea's soft power will be non existent today. It was Park Yon's relentless pursuit to nurture art and artists, document every progress, experiment with new creative pursuits that allowed Koreans to express and develop their identity through different forms of art, from music to theater, and even in fashion. So, how did he do it? Well, Park Hyun is actually the teacher of King Sejong. And for him to be appointed as a teacher, that already gives you an idea on how smart this man is. But Park Hyun actually put that opportunity to good use. He was able to influence the monarch's perspective on music and science, contributing to the cultural and intellectual flourishing of that period. He managed to make King Sejong realize the importance of strengthening Korean culture through the arts. And Barkyon knew that a country will flourish if and only if the culture is strong and intact. That is why King Sejong put great importance in building the identity of Korea, from culture to language to customs. Behind King Sejong's greatness is the vision, intelligence, and revolutionary understanding of the importance of culture and identity. So, what are the things that he did? First, he actually had scientific contribution. Park Yon actually collaborated with inventors like Jong Yon Shil to improve and evolve significant scientific instruments, including the Honchoni or armillary sphere and the Borugak Jagyongmo or the water clock. These innovations advanced Korean astronomy, science, and timekeeping. It allowed Korea to track the movement of the sun, moon, and stars. It was used by the military, navigation applications, and other scientific advancement. In arts and music, Park Yon was instrumental in the development of the pyongyong, a traditional Korean percussion instrument consisting of stone slabs. It is still being used to this day. He also made numerous appeals to King Sejong, emphasizing the necessity of organizing musical instruments and compiling sheet music. His efforts led to the reformation of how music was used in Korea. He categorized music into three categories: ak, dangak, and yangak. Ak was imported from China's Confucian tradition. It's more slow and solemn. This music is actually carefully structured, reflecting the Confucian belief that a well ordered society begins with disciplined rituals. So they usually use this for state ceremonies. Dangak was imported from China's Tang Dynasty and became a part of Korean royal court music. Dangak was a bit more vibrant and entertaining, but since it is designed to actually be fused or mixed with other sounds from other cultures and other countries, it is more reflective of cultural exchanges between Korea and other countries such as China. And there's Yangak, which is purely Korean. It evolved from the folk traditions and musical heritage of Silla, Baekje, and Goguryeo. It preserved Korea's unique cultural identity, separate from Chinese influence, and Yangak became the foundation of Korean traditional music, and that includes trot. He also standardized pitches. He emphasized the importance of precise pitch measurement. He correctly measured notes according to his own system of 12 notes, which reformed court music by ensuring accurate pitch standards. Under his direction, the domestic production of art, music, theater flourished, which allowed for the continuous evolution and innovation of the different art forms of Korea. Park Hyun's legacy is profound, with his contribution to music, science, and philosophy leaving an indelible mark on Korean culture. If it wasn't for him, Korea's soft power wouldn't even be possible. He is celebrated as one of Korea's most esteemed cultural figures, often referred to as a music saint. Some make history. Park Jimin, like his forefathers, became history. King Yukgose didn't just unite warring tribes. He built Silla, the foundation of Korea itself. Imagine that. He built the foundation of a great country. And Park Yeon didn't just compose music. He redefined cultural identity, shaping a legacy that still echoes in traditional court music. What he managed to create is the foundation of what we know now as Korea's soft power. And centuries later, Park Jae-min walks the same path. He isn't just an artist breaking records. He isn't just a performer topping charts. Like his ancestors, he is building something bigger than himself. Something that will define Korea's and Asia's place in global music for generations to come. King Yukgose created a kingdom. Park Yeon shaped its artistic soul. Park Jae-min is bringing it to the world. Some make history. Park Jae-min, like his forefathers, became history.
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had fun. I definitely had fun doing it, and I can continue doing more if you let me know in the comment section. Also, please like the video and share and subscribe and hit that notification button because more than 40% of those that are actually watching my content aren't subscribed. That's what YouTube told me. So please subscribe. Any kind of help will be appreciated. Also, please follow me on X or on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm starting to upload content. And also on Patreon if you want a more direct communication. It's a vibrant community. We're not just talking about BTS there, we're talking about other things, Asian entertainment, other interests, lots of interesting people. If you're looking for a space where you can actually state your unpopular opinion or ask critical questions without getting canceled or accused of something, it's the space for you. I'll see you there. Thank you.